Uh, hello. Hello. My name is Siddharth Varde, and today we are going to talk about constructors. Okay. So, what are the constructors? Constructors are nothing but a special kind of function that gets called automatically by a compiler when an object of that class is created. So, let's say there is a class A. So, it has it has the constructors, or let's say just one constructor, default or any other parameterized constructor. So when I create an object of that class, the constructor of that class gets called automatically. So there are few properties of the constructors. So first, like, they have to be public. Okay. A constructor must be a public. They have no return type, and their name must be as same as the name of the class. And there is fourth one, uh, and that is, no matter how many constructors uh, yes, no matter how many constructors are there in the class, only one of them gets called. For one object. So, like, let's say there is a class A and there are three constructors in it. So when I create an first object of the class A, only one of the three constructors gets called. Only one of the three, not all of them. Okay. And when I create a second object, same goes for that too. Only one of the constructor can get called, not all of them. Okay. So that's the thing about constructors. And there are few different types of constructors. So uh, let's okay, there are default constructors. So default constructors would have no parameters in it. So like, just the name of the class and empty parenthesis, and then the curly braces, the body of the constructor. Then there are custom constructors or parameterized constructors. So they will contain some parameters, like like any one parameter, or maybe more than one parameter. It doesn't matter how many parameters are there. So those are custom constructors. Then there are copy constructors. So copy constructors will have an object in there. So like, in their parameters, I will need to have pass an object as their parameters to copy value from one object to another object. Okay. So let's see the examples of them. So here is the player class. Okay. uh, this is the player class. It has like int score. Okay. So as I said, constructors, then name must be same as the name of the class. Okay. Then they must be public and they have no return type. Okay. There are multiple constructors in this example. So this one is the default constructor, like just the name of the class and empty parenthesis, then the curly body of the constructor to do whatever I want to do. So here I just do like initialize the value of score at 0 and print the print the statements. Okay. Then this is the parameterized or custom constructor. So like name of the class and then variables like parameters. Okay. So there here I just say like set the value as whatever the value player passes, from I like currently I will pass like this. Okay. So this is the implementation or call of the first constructor. Okay. So like just player 1, and I can even call it with empty parenthesis like this too, but it's okay if I don't. The C++ allows me to do that. Then this is how I call the second constructor, parameterized constructor, like name of the type of the variable, name of the variable, and then what are the parameters that I have set. Like if there are two parameters here, then I would need to pass the two values here. So then there is third, the copy constructor. Copy constructor is a constructor that copies values from one object to another. Okay, so like not exactly, but I can pass an object as its parameter. So like then I can copy the values from one of like the past object to the current object, like that. So here is the example of the copy constructor. So like the syntax is name of the class, then parenthesis and constant keyword. So constant keyword is just to make sure that no one from this class can edit the values of another object, because that object is already created, right? I don't need to compromise the like safety or like privacy of that object. So here I copy the values and I cannot edit any values in PL. Okay, so and I print some statements, that's it. And there are two types of copy constructor. So this constructor is like when I use ampersand as an as a parameter, and this is where I use star notation as a parameter. Okay, asterisk. So like not this is the constructor. I'll show you the difference when I call them. So let's say this here, when I call like this, like just pass the value of give the value of one object to another, like this, as an assign with assignment operator. So it calls this constructor. Without this constructor, this will not get called. Like this player 3 will not get instantiated at all. And yes, then the second type that I can do is like with pointers. So I would have to define a pointer of player type, and then I need to use a new keyword to allocate the memory for a new player, and then I pass the value like this, just like the player 1, say player and then player 1. So it will call this constructor. Then there is the third thing, like the last, using star. So here what I need to do is like the pointer of type player, then call it with a new keyword to allocate the memory, and then I pass in the memory address of the object with ampersand with ampersand keyword, ampersand notation, or ampersand. So here are the like when I run the program, these are the outputs. You see, like default constructor gets called and sets the value to 0. Then the custom parameterized constructor gets called and sets the value to 50. Then the third is copy constructor. It gets called and sets the value to 50. Okay, then and again the copy constructor gets called when I do here. So I pass the player 1. So player 1 has the value 0. So I pass the value 0 and the copy constructor gets called. Note that the constructor that gets called is with the ampersand notation. And then when I pass with the memory address, so the last and the second type of copy constructor gets called. Okay, this is it about the constructors and the types of the constructors. Thank you.